At least what I'm seeing, it looks like it's buffering on Rockfin.
Why?
And then I see, because we're talking about stuff it doesn't like. Frequencies and broadcasting and the ability to control what goes on in our realities.
Great. My Rockfin realities. Stream dumped.
Yeah, now it just died.
It dumped. All right, let me just God dang it.
Karen, you get in there and talk about that stuff. You know that's going to upset the powers that be.
You know, I'm going
to send people knocking on our door.
I don't understand why this why? Why does this software keep dumping my streams on me? I hate you.
Also, too, I've been noticing, Karen, a lot of the stuff with the Ethernet is not working like it used to. I have a lot of theories on why I think what's going on. But you got to remember, we're in the middle of a civil war right now. And I think there's other parties, and you know, Mark has talked about it on his show, the ninjas. But how do we know there's not an opposition? I'll just put it that way so the powers that be don't come looking for us. How do we know there's not an opposition? I'll call them the white ninjas that are going, hey, we're done with this mind control government. We're done with all the BS and lies. We're going to overtly work to try to take this down, almost like the movie They Live. What did they try to destroy? They tried to destroy the frequency transmitter that was broadcasting the signal out that was hypnotizing the people. Same thing, in my opinion.
I wonder if I can start a new stream here. Oh, I see it already did. It already did, and it used old settings. Hold on. I'm sorry, JM. One sec.
I see Grounded Extracts. But he's got some good stuff. I'm telling you, that Bester stuff he has is good stuff. Very good.
All right. Started a new stream on Rockfin. Started a new stream on YouTube. I have no idea what's going on Twitch. Snow-covered country. Yeah, I know, because it defaults to that some old stream whenever it does that. I changed it. It says Coffee Talk 41 Part 2. How frustrating. All right. There we go. Okay, are we back in business?
I see everybody in the chat on the new stream. Grounded Extracts, Music Guru, awesome Austin. Hey, Austin, that was a fantastic show you guys did yesterday morning. That was great. I love when you guys were talking about the beekeepers and the powers that bees have in the healing frequencies they can broadcast. That was great. And you guys were talking about the honey, how honey will basically last forever. It won't rot.
Yeah, honey does that. It doesn't ever go bad. And it's naturally antibiotic.
Yeah, they were doing some good stuff. They do that show, the what is it, the Melodome show or the THC show on Sunday mornings. They got some good stuff on there. They get into some really deep stuff.
Cool.
It's a good way to wake up, and I mean, if you have a bowl of cereal or whatever else, you know, you can enjoy along with them for medicinal purposes only.
Right on.
Oh, but I did want to let you know this. When I was out this weekend with my dogs yesterday by the Riverwalk, there's a mall right over there as well. And my dog, Sam, he's a very explorative individual. And, of course, it was early in the morning, and sometimes Sam convinces me to go places that he wants to go. So we were walking around. We actually went and he convinced me to take him inside the mall. So we're walking through the mall and everything and going around there. Well, we came out one side that I hadn't been to in a little while, and I've got a couple pictures of it. There's an actual small portable building with an air conditioning unit on it that is all set up for you to go get your COVID tests.
Fantastic.
So I guess they're not letting this. I guess they're not going to let this COVID thing go.
Oh, of course not. No, they're going to keep pushing their bullshit. They can't stop, because if they do, then they let everybody know that they've been full of shit the whole time. So they're never going to admit that. They're never going to let it go. And we just have to keep holding their ass to the fire.
And then I don't know if you saw this either. You know, our good friend, I know y'all love him, good old Billy Gates. Such a great guy. We all know him and love him. Mm-hmm. Well, he's working on another vaccine that's mostly safe and effective, but he loves the mRNA technology, and this one's going to be for cancer. You see, because he likes the mRNA technology, because with that vaccine, you know, there's so many different types of cancer and other illnesses, Karen. We can have the one thing be approved by the nice folks at the FDA, because who doesn't trust the WHO, the CDC, and the FDA? They're all very honest, trustworthy people. And once that's approved, then as the cancer changes or the illness changes, they just need to go in and change a couple little lines, like a couple little lines of code, and then they just send the new line of code that they wrote for the vaccine, the mRNA vaccine. They send that over to the FDA, and it just rolls out with a new upgraded version. You understand, Karen? Very safe and mostly effective.
Oh, of
right?
course, yes.
So be on the lookout for mRNA coming for your cancer shots and your flu shots, and probably going to be recommended that you get it. You're going to need to at least get one shot a month, at least one, probably 2 to 4. You understand, Karen?
Of course, of course.
We must trust the science. And if you get a cough or a sniffle, if Ted or Brian gets a cough or a sniffle, you don't know, it could be COVID, and I'm going to recommend you should probably run to your nearest testing center and get tested. It's very important.
Yes, absolutely.
You don't know if you could die unless you're tested, Karen.
Right, that's right. Exactly.
You and Ted on Friday were at a super spreader event.
We were at a super spreader event, yes.
Did you see all those people running into each other and jumping around and like rolling around on top of the crowd being passed around? I mean, people have probably died from that super spreader event, Karen.
Oh, yes. Yes, I'm sure they did. I'm sure they're on their deathbeds right now. I wonder how many of them are on ventilators as we speak.
We could only guess. I mean, I bet there's something coming up in October that'll be another super spreader event, won't it?
That's right. That's right. Major super spreader
event. Because I was
at
the last one, and I could have died. I mean, Brian died, but luckily his savior, Trump, came to save him.
That's right.
Ted had COVID toe.
Yeah.
He was walking around spreading that COVID toe everywhere.
Yeah. Luckily, he's over that now, though.
I'm grateful. I caught it. You know, I told you not too long ago, I caught it because, you know, that stuff, it was clearly he's a long hauler, which took a while for me to get it. And, you know, Brian and I are long haulers with the COVID, and then now I got the COVID toe. So now not only am I COVID long hauler, I'm a COVID toe long hauler, and Ted is a COVID toe long hauler as well.
Right. That's awesome. All right.
I can see when they come pick us up, Karen, they'll have all this recording of us. Oh, really? And here we have all the evidence. And
yeah, I know. All right,
crazy people that think the Earth is flat, running around to super spreader events and killing people, passing the COVID toe everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. All right, JM.
Well, thank you very much, Karen. We appreciate you guys, and tell Ted and the rest of the crazy people at your household I said howdy, and look forward to the event in October to get away and hang out with a bunch of cool people.
Heck yeah. All right. Thanks for calling.
Thanks, Karen.
Bye.
Bye.
You are the last party in the conference.
Ooh.
You will hear silence until the conference begins. Line muted.
All right. Yeah, no one else is on the call board, so it might kick me off if somebody doesn't call in and take up a spot on the call board. If you want to call in and talk, it doesn't have to be about what I'm talking about. You can bring up a new subject if you want, 848-222-2480. While we are waiting for possibly someone to call in, check this out. There have been some more meetups added to my site. Some people have given me some more information for meetups. So we have here a Flat Earth meetup in Tucson, Arizona on the 14th of May at 2 p.m. at Brandy Fenton Park.
Line unmuted.
Hold on, that's not you, Law. I see that Law's here. Hey, Law, how's it going?
Hey, Karen.
Hey. Good to hear from you. How you doing?
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Doing good. Just finished up with the soccer for the high school for my son and traveling with my other son for soccer.
Right. Always doing something with soccer.
Oh, yes. I'm glad you had a great time in Atlanta. I hate the place, too. You know, that's where my boy's mom stays, I think. You know, so I guess you got some bad vibes over there because of that.
Well, from what you've told me about your ex, it makes sense that she's over there.
Crazies have to be with crazies.
Right?
Yeah. Hey, if you could please save me a couple of pics from Stefan.
Mm-hmm.
Love to get that and keep that. And
of course, you do so much, Law. Of course, I will save you some pics. Which ones do you want?
I definitely want Flat Earther.
Definitely want Flat Earther. He was handing them out. When Steph hands them out, he gives everybody one of each, but I only have enough to make 3 complete sets, and then I have like some extra geocentric ones, and I think an extra that's retarded one. So I don't know if I can't.
Geocentric one,
Yeah. So
that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. Thank you so much, Queen Bee.
Absolutely. You know, you always help me. You've always been like one of the best, most active people in the Kakalaki crew. So of course.
No, I'm not. I'm just behind you guys. I'm in the background, Karen. I'm not active. I'm just in the background.
Whatever.
But I can't wait for you. I cannot wait. I can't wait until October. You know, that's always my my weekend off. You know, my kids they push me to go to your events every year. So that's when my birthday is in October. So it'll be a fun time. And don't forget to remind everyone that we'll be there cooking all 3 days. Okay.
Okay. Well, you just did.
Oh, okay.
Law will be there.
A bigger menu as well.
A bigger menu? Okay, cool.
Yeah, more items. Of course, I'm going to have the Thai tea for Spicy Sarah and Super Dave Weiss. So they're in there. But we're going to add other items too. Maybe some hot dogs and hamburgers. I don't know. For the park day. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And we're going to do hibachi stuff too. So teriyaki chicken, I think it'll be good. Spring rolls. Okay. So mix things up along with, pad thai and stuff like that. Okay.
Awesome. Fantastic.
Oh yeah. By the way, we had an earthquake last night.
We did?
3 points. Well, here in near my house, I thought something exploded inside my house. My house rumbled and shook. I was like, wow.
Really?
It was crazy. Yeah, it was like 1:30 this morning. Yep. but I think it's from the fracking that they're doing. So
3.3 magnitude
Anywho.
quake jolts South Carolina. Wow.
yeah, it's in a little town like
Columbia.
5 to 7 miles away from where I live.
Huh. Interesting.
But anyway, yeah, I just wanted to call and wish you a very happy day, as every day is that we're here. Okay.
Right,
And
absolutely.
Shout out to you, and I'm glad you had fun. Enjoy the rest of your day, Queen Bee. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you, Law. I appreciate you calling.
You're welcome.
You are the last party in the conference.
There it goes
You
again.
will hear silence until the conference begins.
Ah,
Line muted.
is it going to do that every time somebody leaves? I know I'm the last person in the conference. I get it. You felt it? I didn't. Is Spicy Sarah in labor? No. Oh, Sarah. Is she having that baby? Wait, today's my birthday. Is she going to have her baby on my birthday? That would be amazing. That would be amazing. Any minute now? Spicy Sarah's going to have her baby on my birthday. That makes me smile. Hey, let's pull up the astrology program, shall we? I'll update later. Wow. So let's see. Let's put it to now. Yes. Oh, wow. The sun in Taurus, 18 degrees, and it is only 4 degrees from the northern node. Can you believe that? 4 degrees from the northern... Oh, let me put this where you guys can see it. I'm sorry. Here. So here we go. All kinds of interesting stuff going on here. Neptune and Mars and Jupiter and Venus. Wow. All together. But look at, I find this interesting that the sun is here, that the sun in Taurus is just 4 degrees off from the northern node. I find that very interesting. What does that mean? I think I had a conversation with a woman who does astrology readings, and she was saying something, because we were talking about the energy from
You are the last party in the conference. You will hear silence until the conference begins.
What the heck? Oh, Zulu, call back. Anyway, sorry, I didn't see you there. Anyway, she was saying that, because we were talking about the energies of the eclipses, right? And I was like, and she was talking about how historically a lot of people will hide from the eclipse or hide from the energy of the eclipse because, and I forget exactly the explanation. I'd have to go back and watch the recording of the meeting. But, and I thought, well, that's really interesting because I found the energy of the eclipse that I watched to be incredibly interesting. Like, I liked it. I liked being under the eclipse and looking at it with my bare eyes, right? And she said, well, maybe, you know, that typically if your sun or moon is close to one of the nodes when you're born, then you will actually benefit greatly from the energy of the eclipses. So, Sarah, you have a little power baby coming who's going to love those eclipses. Okay, here we go, Zulu. Hey, Zulu, how's it going? Zulu. Oh, Zulu.
Line unmuted.
Can you hear me now?
I hear you now.
Okay, cool.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hey,
Good morning. Good morning, Coffee Talk. Happy birthday.
thank
Holy
you.
shit.
I know.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Oh my God. I kept watching the videos and looking at the pictures of you guys at the concert. Wish I was there. That had to be freaking amazing.
Dude,
Amazing.
it was so much
Absolutely
fun.
amazing.
It was awesome. It was awesome.
I have a couple more Misfits stuff for you signed for your birthday.
Sweet.
I'll get it to you when I see you.
You know I love
Yeah.
the Misfits.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Oh man, I cannot wait for Flattoberfest.
Yeah.
I wish it was fucking tomorrow. I can't handle this fucking isolation being. I fucking hate it, and I hate people. Sorry, I'm not trying to be negative. Happy birthday, Karen. I love you. You're awesome.
Yeah.
Oh man, stupid fucking world. These people, the mask holes they're still around, and it kills me. Like, I had a conversation yesterday with my father because I was extremely furious because we were talking about school. Actually, I did have a question. Have you heard anything about what the schools are planning for this coming year, for the next year? My son is losing his shit. He wants to go back to school. He's hating me. I mean, everybody hates me anyway, but that's irrelevant. But he's hating me. He wants to go back to fucking school. And I told him, I was like, if they have policies, I'm not fucking letting it happen. I don't give a fuck. It's not happening.
Yeah, I know.
I can't have you go there. You are asthmatic. You are not wearing a fucking mask all day. I will have to fucking snap someone's neck if they want to force you to do that. That is bullshit. I don't care. I don't fucking care. I'm sick of the nonsense. I mean, the first fucking thing we were trained to do with paper fucking masks as an EMT is that if I put it on a patient and if they can't tolerate it for any fucking reason, it comes off and they go on oxygen. But it's okay to make the 300-pound fat fucking bastard teacher wear that thing and walk around all day, or the 300-pound fat bastard 12-year-old kid that eats cheeseburgers all day wearing a fucking mask. They're killing these fucking kids. I just... Sorry. I'm like super fucking... I am Rampage ready fucking 12. Level 12. I want to fucking snap necks.
You would have to go to your local district's page and then see what their policy is. All those districts, all those school districts should have like what their policy is and keep it updated for you to go look at.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I've been asking other parents, and so far nobody knows anything. They haven't said anything as of for next year. For this year, they currently just stopped their mask thing, which is retarded. I mean, like you said, they can't back up and admit anything because then everyone knows that they were fucking lying assholes the whole time.
Right.
Yeah. It's just annoying. So stupid, the world.
Yeah.
I love you, Karen. You're awesome. I appreciate you so much. You don't even know.
I love you too. You know what? If your son does want to go back to school, I'm sure there are things you can do that Rose knows about. There's forms you can fill out. Like you can, there's things you can try if he really does want to go back. That tell them that you're not going to allow them to mask your child. Blah blah blah, and all that stuff. So I don't know.
Right.
I don't know if it will fly in New York.
My biggest concern really was his friends, because all of his friends, all of them have been vaccinated. All their families, they all bought into it. They all believe that it's a real fucking thing. It's the peer pressure that I'm afraid is going to get to him.
Yeah.
That's what I'm worried about.
Yeah, I hear you.
People suck. They're fucking sheeple morons.
They do suck.
I'll do what I'm told.
Yeah.
Oh, it said it on the fucking TV. Fuck you, Grandma. You need to be thrown down the fucking stairs.
Yeah. I know. And then
people, man.
they'll put pressure on you for not being a follower of sheep just like them. I get it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I know I shouldn't be so angry because they're fooled and blinded or whatever, but it's the point that you affect me. You affect my life and my child with your fucking compliance and your fucking no questions whatsoever. I mean, nothing, no questions whatsoever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for letting me vent, by the way.
You're welcome.
My dog and cat are sick of hearing me. I yell all the time. They're like, "You're so angry." Oh, man.
Well, it's better to yell and get it out than to keep it bottled up. I mean, you know, sometimes I do that. I get snappy and I express myself verbally, and then that's it. I'm done. I'm good.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Throw down a few cuss words, scream and yell, and then it's like, okay.
Right. Go outside, beat up a tree, feel better.
Mm-hmm.
No, trees are good people. I can't do that. I actually hugged a tree yesterday. I was outside. I was like, and I was barefoot. I was like, I'm going to hug this thing.
That's
And I
that's a
don't know
super
why.
grounding. That's super grounding. You're like,
I
you're full
felt
body grounding.
Different. Like I actually felt relaxed. I was like, this is a thing?
Yeah,
'Cause
they make fun of you.
I don't know why. I walked outside. I was barefoot, and I walked out onto the grass, and I walked around. So I was like, I'm going to hug the tree. And I swear it felt different. It was weird. Yeah, I highly recommend you do that.
Yeah, they make
That
fun
was
of you, and people get called tree huggers like it's a joke, right? Stupid hippy dippy tree
That's
hugger,
why
dumb
I
shit,
laughed.
right?
Exactly.
But I figured out a while ago that when you can't, because where I live in the winter, it's way too cold to be taking your shoes off and go barefoot, right? So the other way to ground that I found on my own was to take your bare hands and put your hands on a tree, and you get the same effect. You can ground through the tree. That's and I just figured it out on my own. And then when I took that crystal healing class, the teacher also said that, and she was the first one I ever heard say that on her own, besides me saying it to somebody. I don't know why that's like not more talked about thing, but she was the only other person that I'd heard talk about it.
Goosebumps.
Yeah, did you?
You just totally gave me goosebumps, like down my whole back. Like I feel it. I know what you're talking about. I'm going to do that every day.
No, seriously. Yeah.
I've been consistent with my exercising and diet. I'm going to add tree hugging into that.
Totally. And the other thing too, like about grounding, right? It's just the sole, your bare feet on the ground, your soles of your bare feet. The other thing I found out too a long time ago is if you sit down and you put your bare feet on the grass and you put the palms of your hands on the grass, if you sit with your palms and your feet, that also is super grounding. That works much, much faster. I totally feel the difference.
Oh, like the yoga pose, like where you have your feet down and your hands flat too. Like
yeah, but you don't have to be in a yoga pose. You could just be sitting down with your feet, with your soles of feet on the ground, and put your palms on the ground at the same time, and then it's like it's like double time grounding. If you already feel a difference when you start grounding by putting your feet on the ground, try it with your hands too, and you'll feel the difference. Or like you said, barefoot, and then go put your hands on a tree or hug a tree. It's like a stronger connection or a double connection or something, and it works even faster. I mean, one time I was so freaking stressed out, and I just was like, I have to go outside and put my feet on the ground, and I did, and it was helping, but I was like, this isn't enough. And then I put my hands and feet on the ground, and I was just like, it was almost like I could feel the tension being pulled out of my body.
Yeah, I 100% thought it was hokey bullshit until last summer. Kyle and we were both all pissy and cranky, and I don't even know what the fuck we were talking about. And I was like, come outside. And I was like, take your shoes off. And he's like, what? I was like, take your fucking shoes off. And we walked down the grass barefoot. And like within a minute or so, we were like calming. We started joking, and I was like, "This works. This is fucking real.
Yeah.
This is absolutely a real thing."
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I mean, maybe that's why country folk be happy and shit, because they're running around barefoot. I don't know, man. It is a thing. It is a fucking thing. I'm shocked. And the tree blew me away. I didn't think that was real. Like I said, I laughed internally. Tree hugger. I went over and did it. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
I absolutely feel different.
Yeah. And I've done that with my children
amazing.
too. Like my daughter, I've like dragged her outside and I've made her do it. And it does help.
It totally does. Yeah.
One time I did like drag her out kicking and screaming. But you know what? It did mellow her out. After a couple minutes, it did mellow her out. I mean, I'm not saying it worked 100%, but she was definitely calmer. So, it does work.
Right. I mean, it's not like taking a fucking dose of Prozac or something, but it absolutely changes your flow. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's just moving your electrons in a different way. And because I don't know, like that was, besides the actual body feeling, it was mental. Like I started to just feel like I was not necessarily clearer thought, but just moving away from what I was thinking about that was making me angry, people, vax, bullshit, and trying to immediately go to nice, I don't know, to the light or whatever, I don't know. But yeah, it definitely felt something. That is wild. Oh my God. You've taught me so many things, Aaron. Oh my God. The frequencies, the stones, there's so much in this world that we have no fucking clue about. Like I got on Kyle's case the other day. We were talking about electricity and magnetism and how where there's one, there's always the other. And with one, you can create the other. So, but we were never ever taught this. And then I was talking about, well, what the hell are we made out of? What do we do? We're electric. We have all these things. So all those things have to affect us. And, and we were it's just crazy that we are so clueless as to what this 3D world is and what we are here, and what we can do, what we're capable of. It's amazing.
That's right. 11/11, by the way. 11/11 on that note.
11/11. Nice. Awesome. All right. I'll let you go. You are amazing. I love you. I will talk to you again. And Flattoberfest 2022.
Woohoo!
Oh my God, I can't wait.
You never know who's going to show up now, because we're passing cards out backstage at the rock shows now, so you don't know. You never know.
Nice. You never know.
And hopefully we'll get some new people. I've been telling them all, we love to have non-flat earthers show up. That's our favorite.
Yeah. Well, you know what it is? I look at it as they are flat earthers, they just don't know it yet. And when they come in there, I mean, like Mark said in that one interview, 99% of the people that have looked at this, that came at it as I'll debunk it, I'll prove it wrong, are still here. I know I am. That's how I came at it. I was like, you are fucking crazy. This is bullshit. And I can't go back. They've been lying to us relentlessly about everything.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Exactly.
All right. I love you. Happy birthday.
All right.
Say hello to everybody.
Yeah.
Flattoberfest.
Woohoo.
Woohoo. Bye.
Thanks. All right. So phones are open, 848-222-2480. We're using the new call board. It's working okay. I like it. When it doesn't yell at me because I'm the last person in the call. But anyway, I don't know if anybody is in touch with Sarah. Send her positive energy, strength.
You are the last party in the conference.
There it goes, yelling at me again.
Until the conference begins.
Okay. I hope she's doing okay. I would love to send her a message. Simulation isn't round or flat? Okay. Well, anyway. Yeah, so there was an earthquake last night. What time was it? When that earthquake hit. Because I woke up in the middle of the night. I don't remember feeling an earthquake, but I did wake up in the middle of the night, and then I really had a hard time going back to sleep. 1:30 a.m. Actually, that's right around the time that I woke up. That's really weird. And then I was up for like an hour and 45 minutes. I couldn't fall back asleep till almost 3 o'clock. But I don't even remember feeling an earthquake. That's really strange. I wonder if that's what woke me up. Could have been. I know I felt that earthquake that happened in Washington. Remember way back in 2011, and it wasn't even. I think it was probably around the same. It was very low magnitude earthquake, and I just remember I was putting my son to sleep in his crib, and so it was like that sort of stage in the baby's life where like you have to be super careful about putting the baby down or they'll wake up and start crying and then your life is screwed. So I was like putting him in his crib, and I was like laying there for a sec, being very still, making sure the baby was still asleep so that I could like very surreptitiously and ninja-like leave the room so that I could have a little mommy time while the baby slept, right? Well, I was laying there, and I just remember feeling like a very low-key shaking, and I thought, well, I didn't hear a big truck drive down the road, because I know the house would shake if a truck, big, heavy truck drove down the road, but nobody was on the road. And I felt that little shake. I was like, that felt like an earthquake. And it turned out that it was. And it was like, it was, and it was a whole big deal. They closed down the Washington Monument, blah, blah, blah. But really, it wasn't even that big of a deal. That was the last time I remember there being an earthquake. Me too. You did too, Jay? Okay. So a lot of people woke up in the middle of the night at that time. Here on the East Coast, Flattoberfest in 5 months and 16 days. That's right. There's an energy around earthquakes. Even if you don't feel motion, you feel energy. Yeah, it is kind of a trip. But I grew up feeling earthquakes my whole life because I grew up on the California coast, the San Francisco Bay Area, and then living in San Diego. Like, we would be sitting there in the office and there would be an earthquake. And I shit you not, this is how many earthquakes would happen in San Diego. We'd be talking, and then an earthquake would start, and we would all just get really quiet to like make sure it didn't turn into like a major earthquake. And once it went away, we would just keep going about our business. Nobody would even talk about the fact that we just felt an earthquake. We would just like, everybody just got quiet, just wait for it to go away, and then once it goes away, it's like, okay, and you just keep going around about your business. We don't even discuss it. Okay? That's how many earthquakes happen in Southern California. I mean, it's like you don't even... That's why it was funny when everybody was making such a huge deal about that earthquake in Washington when it happened, because it wasn't even that big of an earthquake, and everybody was like, oh my God, the damage, the horror, blah, blah, blah. And it was like not even a magnitude 4 or 5. I think it was 3. I don't even remember, but it was not very big earthquake. And they were acting like it was like almost gonna, bring down, the Washington Monument. Oh, it's been damaged. We have to close it. Blah, blah, blah. But it's funny because when you grow up around it, it's like not even a big deal. If things aren't falling off the shelf, just don't even worry about it. Oh, but get this. Here's the other thing I wanted to, now that, that reminds me, the other thing that I wanted to talk about. Check this out. The Schumann resonance. This right here is the chart from the Schumann resonance from Friday. This is now the Okay, so Schumann resonance, it's the live reading comes from the Space Observation System at Tomsk Science University located in Siberia. Right? So it's over there in Siberia, this thing that's running 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and it's always recording the Schumann resonance, which is the basic electromagnetic field resonance of Earth. What is the Schumann resonance? Schumann resonance is nicknamed the heartbeat of Mother Earth and can occur in bands which match up to the ranges seen in our brain waves. So the average frequency of the Schumann resonance 7.83 hertz. Okay, and humans are tuned to the resonant vibration of Earth. See, this alone tells you, like, we are not, nothing is an accident. This place was made for us. Okay, and our energy, our frequency, you know, is overlapping with the frequency of the Earth, and we feed off of each other, right? So when you see white, that's super high intensity, green is normal, and blue is low. Okay, so on Friday, look at this. It's like out of nowhere, it just goes boom, like super high intensity energy. And like, again, this is in Siberia, so it says the 7th, but they're ahead, right? They're like half a day ahead. So this would have been, this is like early Saturday over there, and Friday where I was, time frame. And it's just this major hit of like massive energy. And then it kind of starts to dissipate a little bit. And this is late yesterday. So that's kind of crazy. And it makes you wonder, well, what is that? And also, you know, maybe this has something to do with how intense the energy was in Atlanta that day. Maybe it was just like that all over everywhere. And I wonder if other people noticed anything different. Here's another observation I made on this day, and tell me if, and I'll tell you what I experienced, and maybe you guys can tell me if you experienced something similar. Okay, on that day, Friday, which was the day of the show, Ted and I we went out to like get something to eat in downtown Atlanta, and it was kind of overcast there, but the sun light was so intense that I was like walking around squinting and my eyes hurt. It was hurting my eyes. And I'm someone who looks into the disk of the sun on purpose sometimes. I don't understand why on an overcast day my eyes were like in pain from the brightness of the light of the sun on this particular day. And I don't know if anybody else felt like that on Friday or not, but it did for me. And it didn't make any sense because, like I said, I like to sun gaze. I love to be in the sun. I mean, if anybody could be accused of being a sun worshiper, it could certainly be me, as much time as I like to spend in the sun. So the fact that it was so bright and so intense that I was like, I could barely keep one eye open when we were out walking around. I don't know. The UV was reported to be 10 plus. Maybe it was more intense. So what do you got? Did anybody else experience something like that on Friday? I don't know. Let me look over here. Let me see. Damn, it's too much to explain in chat. Call ground except is all looped together as a natural to balance a neutral load coming from power. Oh yeah, Starwater, I have your deck right here. I can talk about it too. I have it right here. I did start talking about it and then I got distracted onto another subject, but I have it right here. And because I did go out of town this weekend, I didn't really have a chance to go through and read your book, that I want to read it because I see that you have like your own version here. And I really want to go through and read it and give it the proper examination that it deserves. But I do have it here. That is why your dog slept so good. Usually when there's a lot of white on the chart, I have a tight feeling in my chest. I don't know. Hi Karen, it's Hank. I did a 6-minute vid on Flat Earth hippie YouTube channel explaining the nature of our realm. Awesome. Oh, I think you sent it to me. I just haven't. I'm sorry. I haven't had time because I was so busy over the last week. I'm gonna check that out. So I don't know if anybody else noticed anything strange around this time. No? The sun is brighter now. Is it brighter? I mean, I feel like they're always trying to spray something in front of the sun. Every time I see chemtrails, it's like early in the day and there's trails going across the sky in front of the sun, or the sun's that way and you know what I mean? I feel like they chase the sun. So, I don't know. What are they doing? I was in the sun all day last Friday, felt pretty intense. Okay, MFT. Friday was really damn hot. Okay. The sun was way bright. I don't know. I just felt like it was unusually intense light, and it was kind of overcast in Atlanta. Like it had been raining on and off while we were there. Now, I don't know if it's just because of the clouds, maybe, but it just seemed like it was super intense. Mm-hmm. Oh, hey, I got callers. All right. Thank you for calling Coffee Talk. You're on with Karen B.
Hi, Karen. This is Jenny. Jenny Spark.
Hi, Jenny. How you doing?
Good, good. Just getting excited for this weekend.
Fantastic.
Talk about it.
Okay, great. Because I was going to bring it up. I'm sure you saw it on my screen. I was trying to bring up the meetup so everybody could know what's going on. So cool. Yeah, go ahead and talk about it. I'll pull it up on the screen.
Okay, so Yankton, South Dakota. It's the Cottonwood Campground, if I can say that. Get the cotton mouth out of my mouth. We're gonna be there the 13th, 14th, and Justin's set up. He's got quite a few flotational devices if people do not have them, or if people just want to camp. So contact Stayfish for sure. STAPISHJ@hotmail.com. I'll put that in the chat when I hang up. He's got 6 RV spots plus a bunch of tents. We've got quite a few people coming from Minnesota. And yeah, if you can get to South Dakota, it would be awesome.
There you go.
And it's free.
Yes,
yeah.
Free. But donations are appreciated for food and stuff, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's cool that you guys are doing that over there, because there's not really a lot of stuff that I typically hear about in that area, so it's cool that you guys are doing that. I hope you guys get a lot of people showing up.
Yeah, we've been doing a monthly meetup near Minneapolis for a while now, and I started doing it before I used the app to do it, the David Weiss. I'll just say the David Weiss app.
Mm-hmm.
So once we started using that too, we got a boost in numbers as well, and he sent us some stickers and some fun stuff, and that was really highly appreciated over here. We have Lao Sing in our group who helped with the newest Flat Earth children's book, right? Conspiracy Music Guru put that out, and Lao Sing was kind of integral in helping in some of that. So
awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty exciting. Connections from Minnesota and South Dakota.
There you go.
You can get there. Yeah, there's some cool people in Michigan and Chicago, and I would just love to be able to get everybody together. I'm trying in August, still trying for August 20th to have a music event here.
Cool.
So I got to nail down a location is my last thing before I really go on the communication campaign trail. So yeah,
all right.
That's all I got.
Okay, awesome. Well, thanks for calling and
chat. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, and I hope you guys have a good time.
Chat. Thank you so much for putting that out there for everybody. And I haven't been doing much with my channel, so it's highly appreciated to get some visibility. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Have fun with that. Hope you guys have a great time.
Yeah, thank
I'm
you.
sure you
I'll
will.
take pics and stuff.
All right.
That was you. All right. Thanks.
Bye. Cool. Okay, now I have a blocked and anonymous caller. I don't know if I want to pick that up. Then there's another wireless caller, but there's no name. So these may be short-lived. We'll see how it goes. You're on the phone with Coffee Talk and Karen B. Who's this?
Hi, Karen. It's Chris Pontius.
Hi, Chris. Good to hear from
Hi.
you.
Yeah, I was listening to you and Zulu a while ago, and I just said, I got to call in. You're talking about grounding and all that cool stuff. And just wanted to call in and let everybody know what I've been doing. By the way, happy birthday.
Thank you.
And also, thank you for sending me that the funds for the marquees you sold.
Okay, you're welcome. I'm going to send you actually I need to send you the money for the final chaser is gone. So I have to do that too.
Cool.
I actually gave that.
I have a few more here. Huh?
You have more?
Yeah, I have a few more here, but I haven't had a chance to build any models for the last few months because I'm in transition. As everybody knows, I put it on my website where I'm moving because a lot of people are still asking me, when are you going to have some more models? And I go, I just don't have time or the facility to really make them right now. I have a few of them started, but until I get myself situated. So I found a place with some friends on a farm up in about 100 miles north of here in Ardmore, Oklahoma. And I just spent the weekend. I went and rented a little mini excavator and hauled it up there. And I always wanted to operate one of those since I was a kid because it's kind of fun to move, things around with your fingertips. Or actually, they have a little joystick controller. And it took me a couple hours to get the hang of it. But I was digging a hole. I spent the night. I cleared out an area, beautiful forest there, and that's where I'm going to be setting up my new home. And I've been hauling loads and loads all my stuff because I've been in the same place for many, many years and have collected a lot of things. And then I can set my solar panels up and I'll be off the grid. And I just love it up there. I just getting out of the city. And then I cleared out a spot and I pulled in the forest. I'm away from any kind. I barely got one bar on my cell phone. And then about the grounding thing, I was going to go out and basically hook a big wire around a tree and run it in there because when I sleep in my van, you've got rubber tires. And that's the thing people don't realize is back in the old days, we wore leather shoes. And when you walked around, you were pretty much grounded most of the time. Mm-hmm. But now with rubber-soled shoes, everybody's isolated from the ground. And I've been grounding my body for I watched a really cool documentary from a man that went to Alaska into a small town and started getting all these people to ground themselves, especially while you're sleeping all night long. So I actually built a really cool underground pyramid. I drove 4 10-foot grounding rods on a 51-degree angle facing north and made a big giant. And then I ran a wire over there, and every night I kind of wind the copper wire around my toes. You can buy those little sticky pad things that they use for TENS units, work good too. But for most people, all you really have to do is plug into the ground lug on your outlet. That goes straight to ground. Or another really good ground is if you have copper pipes or metal pipes in your house, just wrap a wire around there. And then just get some soft copper. I like the speaker wire that's really fine stranded copper. Mm-hmm. And then just kind of wind it around your toes. And usually you can roll around the bed and it doesn't come off your foot except when you got to wake up in the middle of the night, go to the bathroom or something, you got to unhook the wire from your foot. But I swear by it. And I turned a couple friends of mine onto it. And I just heard last week from a friend that his wife has been on a CPAP machine for years and started grounding. And after about 2 months of grounding, she doesn't need to use it anymore. She's fine now. She's back to normal.
Wow.
So, yeah. Connecting with the Schumann frequency is very, very important. I actually made my chemtrail buster, and I had a friend of mine build a circuit that resonates at the Schumann frequency, and it pulses all the crystals in there. And and a lot of people that have come here to visit my place over the years when I had the parties and stuff, and noticed that I had a different energy here with all the organite. And I brought that. Actually, I brought that chemtrail buster to the conference in Dallas in 2019. My friend said, "You ought to bring that out here." And I hauled it down there. I don't know if you remember seeing it out in the hallway there. But and when Rick Hummer was here visiting the time, getting ready for the conference, he noticed one day, went outside in the heavy chemtrail and all that, and he looked there right up over my warehouse, and he goes, "The sky's clear right over your warehouse." I said, "Yeah, that thing really works. It does clear the sky out." I mean, I saw videos of it years ago. I didn't believe it, so I built mine, and it really helps. And then another thing I have is I have some of the orgonite being pulsed with the 528 hertz frequency, which is real magical healing frequency.
Yeah, I love
But
528.
I highly recommend everybody ground their body while you're sleeping all night. You wouldn't believe how great you feel in the morning when you wake up. You sleep more deeply and much better. And another thing, too, that I learned about was called inclined bed therapy. You know about that one?
Yeah, I have that. Ted and I sleep on a wedge bed.
Yeah, it's weird. I noticed Jaron was talking about that a couple of weeks ago, and he says, yeah, the first week you slide down to the end of the bed, but after about a week, you don't slide down to the bed anymore. It's weird, but... And then I noticed when I went and parked my van and was sleeping in it, I always try to face my head north, and then I tilted the van up on the side so I could because I'm so used to sleeping on an incline that if I lay flat, it just feels very uncomfortable. So.
Yeah, I noticed that. Like when I first got the bed and I laid on it, I felt weird because it was inclined, but I got used to it really quick. And now when I lay down, I don't even really notice it anymore. Do you feel?
Yeah, I think Jaron said he stopped snoring once he got used to the inclined bed. That there's something magical about that. They said in all the nature, all the animals usually lay down when they sleep on a hill where their head's always on the high side. And yeah, because it's just the way our fluids flow in our body. And then I listened to a seminar from Dr. Cowan, which I think he's a brilliant man.
Yes.
About the heart is not a pump. And our bodies move our blood around the same way trees move the fluids to lift the water from the ground 200-300 feet high to the top of the tree. There's no pump in a tree
right
to lift the water up there. It's done electrically, and our blood flows the same way. The heart is there to stop the blood flow, so the cells can pick up and get rid of the CO2 and pick up the oxygen. They have to stop for a second to do that, and that's really what the heart does. It stops the blood flow. Isn't that interesting?
It's fascinating, yeah.
Because if you know about how pumps work, that the main aorta that comes out of the heart, if it was under pressure from the heart pumping blood, it would collapse. If you ever mess with hoses and stuff and put pressure through them, they spring up, and that would not work in a pump situation if the heart is actually pumping. It is actually there to stop the flow, which is really. I find that just fascinating because you don't think about those things until somebody brings it to your attention. So,
yeah.
But anyway, I just want everybody to know that as soon as I get situated up here, I've decided to call it the Pepper Ranch. Eventually here, I'm hoping the opportunity that I was blessed with here with this situation, because when I realized I had to get out of this city and move out of this building because it was sold, and the new property owners, they're more corporate, and they have they want keys to the building, and if you're late on your rent, all the stuff, the typical situation, and the guy that owned the building here for years was really cool. If you got a little bit week or two behind the rent, he wasn't like throwing you out or anything. So kind of got spoiled that, and I was paying like 1/3 of the actual going rate for the rental places now in Dallas. And as much as I really had to love to build Flataria here in Texas has gotten so much like California because so many people are moving here and the property values have just gone through the roof. I mean, everything is ridiculously expensive. And Oklahoma is really cool. I mean, it used to be where you didn't want to go there because if you got caught with a joint, you'd throw you in prison. But they're gone medical now, and It's actually the new frontier for pot farms, and and you can buy property there, really cheap, and the property taxes are nothing, and it's really pretty up there. I mean, it's amazing the difference in the climate when you just go 100 miles north of of Dallas.
Really? Is it a lot less humid?
I'm sorry.
Is it less
Pardon
humid?
me?
Is it less humid?
Well, it depends. It's weird with the weather here in the south because the north winds are coming in. You got nice, cool, dry air, and when the south winds come up from the Gulf, it can get humid really quick, and it can get. I mean, the only place that's worse than Dallas is like Houston and Austin and down in New Orleans and stuff like that, where they're real close to the Gulf. It can get pretty humid down there. It got really humid. And speaking of, you said Friday. You noticed the sun. I've noticed that a couple times too. My eyes. I've acclimated my eyes now to where I don't wear sunglasses anymore. When I learned that your eyes are triggers for the when they realize that when you see the sun, your body creates a chemical to protect you from being sunburned. And I got some sun yesterday out there. I was running that excavator all weekend long. I dug a big hole, which is so fun out there in the forest, and because I needed to build a little septic tank, and I have an old Airstream, a 40-year-old Airstream that I fixed up really nice. And I'm parking it out there, and I have a real flush toilet and solar panels, and I live in, and this is a big change for, a big city boy to go out and live in the woods. So I can't wait to get moved out there. So my goal is to get everything. I've got about half or past the halfway point, just all the stuff that I have that I just can't, all the tools. I have a lot of things that just can't get rid of, that I acquired, especially when you have the space for it. And fortunately, my trucker friend, I had to buy a forklift because the apartment that I used to live in that I built up over my shop, a lot of people saw that David Weiss in here and Alex, and a lot of people saw my cool little pad I had upstairs. Well, all that's gone now. I took it all apart, saved all the materials, loaded them all on a flatbed truck, 42,000 pounds of building materials, and just got that hauled up there and situated. And the day we show up, it's, gravel in the driveway and stuff, and I've got this nice building to put everything in, and it started pouring down rain, and forklifts in mud and gravel don't do well together. So it was real challenging, but we got the truck unloaded, and so now I've got a few things I have to do to make some more money to pay for the fuel and all the cost of moving. But my goal is to be out of this place by the end of next month. And then I need about another month to get my shop situated. And then hopefully by the end of the summer, I'll get back to making some flat earth models and things for everybody. So if anybody's out there listening that wants to just hang in there and be patient, I'll get around to it. But this is a big thing for me. And I've started back in January, I think, to the whole process. I mean, I didn't even know where to start in the beginning. I'm looking around all this stuff going, I don't even know where to start.
Oh, I know you've been working on it for months because you mentioned this. I remember a long time ago you said you were going to start moving all your stuff. So I know you've been busy for a long time.
Yeah, and it's quite the process, but I'm pumped because I really wasn't in that great a shape because you stand behind the workbench all day long building models. You don't get much exercise. It's real like putting a computer together. You don't really do much physically. It's all mental. And so this has been a real challenge, and I think I'm in better shape now, almost as good as I was when I was 30. And I'm going to be here coming up in June 17th. I'm going to be 65, and so hopefully maybe I'll be mostly all moved up there by then. I'm trying to do that for my birthday present, but I wish I could just wave a magic wand. And so now I built this really cool, the cat flat about a year ago, my little home I live in now, and I've got to start disassembling it here in a couple of weeks. And it won't be as hard as the other place, but I've got it down pretty good. And so that's basically everything. I guess I wanted to let everybody know what I'm doing. So.
All right. Well, hey, Chris, you know Brian, right? Brian Burton, who also lives in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, he is in chat.
I don't know where.
Well, he lives in Oklahoma, but he's in chat listening to you, and he says if you need help, that he will help you, and to get a hold of him. I don't know if you know how to get a hold of him. Hey, Brian, maybe you should just send me your info in Skype, and then we can send it to Chris so that you guys can get in touch if you don't already have each other's contact info. But anyway.
Yeah, I have Brian's number. I'm
Yeah.
gonna call him.
Okay.
So here after I get off, I'll call Brian.
There you go.
But anyway, I'll let you get back to your callers, and it's just nice to say hi to you and happy birthday again. And just I love everybody, and hi to Zulu, and just hang in there, buddy. It's gonna get better somehow. I know it's frustrating. I feel the same way. Still seeing people muzzled up. It's frustrating, but there's really nothing you can do about it. Just got to carry on.
Yeah.
And we got to get ourselves situated. That's the main thing, because I think it's going to get rough coming up here. So, but anyway, I'm glad. Just can't wait to get out of this crazy city. So anyway, I'll talk to you later, and have a great day.
All right, you too, Chris. Thank you for calling.
Bye-bye.
Bye. There you go. Chris Pontius, the maker of Flat Earth models. So yeah, whenever you get done moving and stuff, Chris, you let us know. We'll start putting commercials on Strange World for your stuff, so you can start selling your models and whatever else it is you got. Oh, and by the way, I forgot to tell you while you were on the phone, I gifted this light, that third light that I had, the chaser light. I gifted that to Stefan from the Deftones. I gave him your one of your chaser lights, in hopes that, I said, here you go for your home office or something, and he liked it. So I don't know, maybe it'll show up in the background in a video somewhere or something someday. I don't know. But I gave that to Stefan. So that's cool. Now one of the Deftones has one of your pieces. So that is what's going on with that. Okay, let's try this other caller. Thank you for calling Coffee Talk. You're on with Karen B. Who's this?
This is Benjamin. How's it going, Karen?
Great. How are you?
Oh, I can't complain. Can't complain. Alex Michael was asking the little bit of talk earlier, and the fellow just before was hitting some of this too. He was saying that his electrician thought he was crazy when he talked about grounding. And so I thought I'd explain that a little bit.
Okay, cool.
For starts, your average electrician is just a roper. And by roper, I mean somebody that just takes Romex and runs it through a house, has very little understanding of the way electricity works in any way, shape, or form. They're just pulling rope. That's all they're doing and making connections. It's a monkey-do type thing. Doesn't really require a lot of thought. You can get a license for it after 2 years. Now, the problem with the understanding is that there's a terminology break. So what electricians call ground is not really what we think of as ground. It's a safety feature, so that way if there's a direct crossover between the power and something else that's able to carry current, it has the ability to go directly to the ground without hitting anything in between and blowing things up, shorting them out, doing all those fun things, starting fires. Now, the thing that, as in the more truth world, when they talk about grounding as an electrician, is called the neutral. And most electricians don't realize that the neutral does tie to the ground and as an entire system, but it's got to be loaded with everything else, because the trick with the neutral is that's working as a true ground. So you've got to balance the power coming in with what's unloading through the neutral. And when you're a commercial electrician, that's something that you get really into. Like when you take like school systems. When we were all back in high school and all the clocks on the wall were exactly the damn same. How did that happen? Well, if you set up your system and you balance your neutral, then there's not going to be a whole lot of signal in it, and you can send a little slight charge through the neutral, and that's what's setting all those clocks, and it's keeping them all set together in the same time on a tiny little charge that's passing through the neutral. Now, especially with things we got going on today with like computers and fluorescent lights and whatnot, those send a whole lot of dirty signal through the neutral. So this is power that's wild, that's uncontrolled, that's coming back through, that needs to go out and find ground in order to complete the circuit. The whole system has to always be grounded in order to complete that circuit, in order to make it even run. And people don't realize that, because like at your house, you ground out the ground piece, the actual ground, and then you make a break at the neutral and the ground bars. But that neutral is grounded, it goes back to the transformer and then grounds and balances with the whole system. Because like I said, if you unbalance a neutral, then it sends hard signal through that neutral. So it even gets worse when you're playing with like phases, where you've got, but it also can get better, because electricity in a whole, you got your 360 degrees, that's your power. And because electricity or electrons are masculine, it breaks off into 90 degrees. So if you take and you balance your 3 phases, or like in household, it's only 2 phases, you're only running off a 240 in a house, but you take and you balance the neutral between the 2 things, then it cancels each other out and it breaks down the signal that's in that neutral, and you don't get that same neutral feedback. But the whole system's got a balance then, that's sitting on that entire piece of grid work, that's all got to balance and go back to the main transformer. So you don't hard ground it at the actual home or business or whatever. So you don't get the idea that neutral is actually the ground, and without it the whole system quits functioning, because it's very similar to a battery where the electron and the ion are split apart, and we're just playing with the electron side, but it wants to go back and do that merging again. It's got to go back and find its ground so it can go back and merge. That's why we're getting that action, because it's got somewhere to go. It needs to go somewhere, and that somewhere is the ground all the time. So as a human then, when we're touching the ground, it's that same thing, that same action. But that's why that electrician got confused, because what we would call ground or neutral is what we're referring to as ground, where it's completing the circuit.
Okay, so which one is more correct? Or is it either one?
I mean, it's not really that there's a correct, it's just understanding what's being said.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because when we say ground, we automatically think, oh, it's where the current meets the ground. Well, the neutral actually does that also. And what we're calling ground as an electrician is just a safety feature that makes it so a direct shot will go into ground, and but the feedback, the neutral feedback, always goes into the ground.
Okay. Well, thank you for that explanation.
And also on the heart pump thing, that was wonderful. I completely agree. One of the things that in the truth world is a huge thing for people to talk about is that the red bloods and blue bloods and all that nonsense.
Right.
We all have both. And this is where your Venus and your Mars comes in. Mars is your iron side, and your iron side draws in the oxygen, and that's what the iron itself is doing. And then it flips over and it goes to the copper side, and the copper pushes the oxygen out of your blood. So this is, like he said, this is a magnetic and electric thing, and it's the different cell salts inside of your blood that are doing this action and creating this.
Right. I kind of got the impression from when I was looking at all this stuff that the heart, like, because when it doesn't actually pump, it twists, right? It's twisting and untwisting, like in a toroidal shape. So it's like it's renewing the charge on the blood cells when they pass through the heart, is what it seems like to me. Does that make sense? Like it's giving them the energy they need to go do their job again. It's like they go all the way through the system and come back to the heart. They do their thing, and then they get charged up and they go back out again.
Right, they got to switch their charge, and that's why it's twisting like that. They're switching the charge and then going back and doing the other side. You bet.
That is so cool.
Absolutely agree. Hopefully this week doesn't get cut out.
Oh, it already dumped me, and I'm already on my second stream. So
Yikes.
I know.
Yeah, we've been having a lot of problems on a lot of shows too. Like on Saturday on the Spiders, the audio didn't work for quite a while, and just all kinds of problems. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
And my internet's going out like every 2 hours for like the last 3 days. So.
Yeah. I wonder if that's related to the burst in energy and the Schumann resonance too, though. Do you think that could have anything to do with it? Did you see that chart? It was like super intense.
Yeah, I'm on Starlink, so absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I can hear your peacocks.
Congratulations, Spicy Sarah.
Did she have her baby?
You should have heard them before when I was calling them. Or when I was trying to call earlier, you should have heard them. Holy smoke, the goats, the peacocks, everything was out here screaming. Brian said when he went down to feed the cows, the bulls were all challenging him. He's like having to throw the hay over top of them, and the bull was trying to headbutt the hay as it was flying by.
Really?
Right.
Wow.
All the animals are nuts this morning. Yeah.
That's so funny. Huh.
Yeah. I heard him screaming outside, "Stop!" And so the goats, I already knew the goats were attacking him while he's trying to feed. Like, jeez.
That's funny. But it makes sense, man. The animals have not been removed from their connection to the system, to the Earth system, I mean, you know. So, makes sense.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And like the last 3 or 4 days, actually, all of our animals have been just crazy. It's been ugly. Actually, like 3 days ago, was it 3 days ago that Scotty attacked Shadow? 3 days ago, and we were like, is it a full moon or something? Like, holy cow, everything was acting so out of line. And my farm's usually very peaceful, and things were just for the last 3 days have just been out of line.
Yeah, that's crazy, because that's exactly the time frame of this big energy burst that they recorded.
Yep, and out here, I'm out in the middle of nowhere. There's not even any power lines coming to my house. You know, nowhere around. All my animals are and everything here is very connected to Earth. So.
So it makes me. I mean, I just wonder. Anyway. So where does that energy burst come from? Is that from the Earth or is that from us?
There's a lot of talk now. We're at what we call a grand solar minimum, but there's a guy named Reed Burhart that I'm friends with that he studies this on a mainstream level, and he's been in Time magazine and everything. And he does some real interesting studies. Now, what we visually see as a grand solar minimum, he said that more energy releases from the sun to the Earth during that time than what we visually would call the grand solar maximum, where we can see a lot of activity on the sun. It's not actually projecting as much energy overall to the Earth. So while this extreme burst of energy is coming during this flat time or this minimum time, then the other side, the electron side, has to meet that, because that's really what's happening. Is just like in the battery, where the electron and the ion particle off the anode split apart, and that gives a small charge, which is what we're using as a power source to drive things, just that electron side, where that small split goes apart. When it reaches over to the cathode side, that ion and that electron merge back together and fuse. That's why the cathode grows and the anode shrinks. because the material is literally fusing back together over on that cathode side. And things want to happen the same way throughout the rest of the unit or world. We have the same setup. I talk about this where we're just electrical, and we have an anode and a cathode, and these two things are trying to meet back up. That's what's driving the whole system. And so when there's an extra amount of ion energy, then we need to have an extra amount of earth energy too to meet it and balance it out. The two things, that's just the way it naturally works. The two things are going to balance each other out.
Cool. Fascinating.
Yeah, he also has a thing that's really neat. He thinks the COVIDs, he believes in it, in the COVIDs, but he doesn't believe in it in any way like they do. He's tying it to, if anybody wants to look this up, it's just fascinating, was the solar cycles, he said, match the English sweats from back in the day. And the English sweats, and there's other diseases like this that happen during these 7-year cycles, because he said this goes in a 7-year cycle. That these weird, unexplained diseases, because there's a bunch of them throughout history. I mean, some of them are fucking crazy that nobody can explain. There's no understanding of it, and then it just like it just randomly appeared, it randomly disappears. It's just gone and never to happen again in history. And one of them that he studies was called the English sweats, where people would just get this sweating sickness just randomly. It caused a lot of problems in England. It tended to be more prominent in the upper class. The lower class didn't have near as many problems with it. The upper class and the royals of the times had a lot of problems with it. But he ties a lot of these illnesses to the differential in the sun and says that a lot of this ties to that. And there's a different ones throughout history that do, and it's in a 7-year cycle.
That's interesting. I feel like we all need to be, man, I wish they would have taught us more about electricity in school. It's like, it seems it's so foreign to me, and I'm still trying to learn about it. It's one of the hardest things to learn about. It seems like, maybe it's just me because it seems so foreign to me. But I feel like we need to like develop a electricity 101 course for everybody so we can start learning how this place works.
Absolutely agree. And as soon as you start getting those real mechanical concepts of it down, then everything else starts opening up, because you're like, oh, this works like this. Oh, see, this works like that too. Oh, this works like that too. And you really start opening everything up. You start realizing, as an alchemist, the same thing is if I take and I replace the word ion with sulfur, and I replace the word electron with salt, and then the electrolytic fluid that was carrying the charge and making the charge able to transfer with mercury, all of a sudden I have alchemy instead of electricity. Right?
Yeah.
And even in human terms, if I take every step of the way, this same thing applies. This is why the Trinity is such a huge thing across all different things, because everything breaks down into that. You've got the positive or the sulfur side, the negative or the salt side, and then you've got the mercury in between, which makes the transition. And that's why mercury is always neutral, and that's, again, this brings us back to the whole electrical terminology where that portion is called neutral, the white wire. It's understanding that mercury is neutral, and depending on whether it has a negative charge sitting in it or a positive charge sitting in it is going to be what determines what the mercury is. It's very dynamic as opposed to the positive and negative side. So it can be either or, and is either or, but is neither. And all it's doing is literally taking and moving the charge from one side to the other. That's why mercury's the messenger, or transactions, monetary things. All these things are tied to Mercury because when you look at every one of these things, a transaction is happening. And Mercury is the thing that's allowing this transaction. That's also why it's considered the path or the way, because that transaction can only happen where the Mercury exists. In a battery, the charge doesn't carry outside of the electrolytic fluid. Wherever the electrolytic fluid is the only place that charge is allowed to carry. As soon as there's no mercury, there's no charge carry. If you take the electrolytic fluid out of the battery, that power is still there. It's just not able to move because the pathway hasn't been set, and that's why Mercury is the path. So.
Wow.
Anyway, I'll quit taking up your time.
No, that's great. I love it when you call because I always learn something.
I love you, Karen.
All right, I love you too.
I'm so glad you guys got to meet Steph's home. That was cool as hell.
Oh, heck yeah. And he was everybody was super cool. It was just a really great experience all around.
Well, it was a super spreader event because of his beard. His beard had at least 1,000 COVIDs in it. I seen it.
Yeah.
That's where we hide. That's where we hide them.
Oh.
I also have a beard. Mine's not quite as big as his. I only got like 800 COVIDs in mine.
Oh, okay. So Steph is rockstar COVID status.
Yeah, his is a metal beard. Mine's not quite there yet.
All right, Ben, thanks for calling.
You bet. We'll talk to you later, Karen.
All right, later. That was fun. It's funny.
You are the last party in the conference.
Okay, there we go. So, yeah, the call board has been cleared, but it's still open if anybody wants to call. I think I'm going to end my YouTube stream. I'm going to end the YouTubes, and then we'll finish up over on Rockfin, and Twitch is still up, but I'm going to end the YouTube stream. Thank you for the happy birthday text, Rose, and I appreciate all of you being here, and I'm sorry that the program decided to crap out and drop my stream, but I appreciate all of you being here, and don't forget Flattoberfest is coming up in October 21st, 22nd, and 23rd. We will be in Greenville at the Greenville Shrine Event Club. We are going to have presentations and music and fellowship and great food. It's a whole weekend. It's going to be fantastic, and I hope to see you all there. Tickets are still on I call it the not as early bird sale because I had the early bird sale for $122 and now tickets are $133, but they are still on sale from the regular price, which is $155, and I will keep it that way up until June 30th, and I will be announcing people soon, speakers that will be at the event. So far, I do have Jason Lindgren confirmed as a speaker, and he also wants to play music, so that'll be good. We are going to have Chief Crow be present, and he'll be playing music. He might even do a little bit of music the day before we have the music day. Maybe some in-between DJ sets, who knows? But it's going to be, we're always trying to mix it up a little bit. We'll have some of the same stuff as last year, and we're going to have some new stuff and hopefully some new things to present to you. Oh, Cammie says Zach and I are on Melodome tomorrow night, so there you go. And also, Zach and Cammie will be at Flattoberfest with their How the World Works exhibit. So don't miss that. Okay, I'm going to play a quick break, the support screen, and then I'm going to come back, not on YouTube. And for those who wish to send me stuff through snail mail, you can use P.O. Box 10, Earl, North Carolina, 28038. Also, links below for donations and merch if you are interested in that. Anything at all is greatly appreciated. I do appreciate the support. Thank you very much. Also, please go to flatearthfestivals.com for all information about Flattoberfest 2021 and other Flat Earth Festival events. You can email me about Flat Earth Festivals at flatearthfestivals@protonmail.com, and for everything else, you can email me at karenbfe@protonmail.com. Thank you for being here.